Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Jewish Voice. I'm very excited tonight. I have two really incredible artists and friends and inspirations in my life, and to have them both on, well, this is going to be a night of dynamite. So, the first one that I'm going to bring on in just a moment is Dan Nichols. Gosh, I heard Dan Nichols years and years ago in Miami, and I thought, wow, incredible and exciting performer. Dan is an American Jewish rock musician and the founder of the band 18. Now, I am taking this from Wikipedia, so Dan, anything that's wrong, you'll correct in a moment. But I'm just going to give a little bit because I thought some of this was very interesting. It says that you were born twice, so I feel I should repeat it. Born 1969 in Indiana. You attended Pike Township schools in Indianapolis. Your parents converted to Judaism when you were 7 after your mother went on a quest for spirituality. That is really something. I hope you'll tell me a little more about that. You attended Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation and camped at Goldman Union in Zionsville, Indiana. You live in Raleigh, North Carolina with your wife, Alicia, and daughter, Ava. I hope I have that right. You're an alum of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where you received your bachelor's degree in music. I don't want to take much more time, but I do want to say that many of your songs, when you started working with the group 18, the band 18, performing rock music with Jewish themes and Hebrew prayers. And also that you had a background in opera, which is really why you sing so high for me. Your work has been recognized by the Union for Reform Judaism, NIFTY, biennials, conventions, including music on their compilation, lots of albums, songbooks, and I'm so excited to bring you on. I welcome you with total joy and respect, Dan Nichols.
Rochelle!
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me
evening.
join you.
I was so thrilled when you said that you would come on the show. Really, it's just one of these special opportunities that turned up after being able to learn how to use Zoom, and it's been a little piece of gold. So for everyone that's out there that can watch you, this is really one of those more comfortable in your living room moments. So I'd love you, Dan, to start by sharing with us some little history about you and how you got into Jewish music and that whole 9 yards.
Sure. Well, the story of my mom converting to Judaism is interesting in that she was always searching for a language with which to speak to God. That's what she'd say. And growing up as a Presbyterian, it never worked for her. Then she had me and she had my sister, and we started coming home with all kinds of questions about God and spirituality and faith. And I think I must have gone to a Wednesday night Bible study class with my neighbor Marilyn Day. I was about 5, maybe. And I came home in tears. My mom tells it that I said, "Mommy, I don't want to have a black spot on my soul." Oh. And I think that moment, as she tells it, set things in motion. She's like, my kid's not going to have that kind of relationship with God and with spirituality. He's just not. And so she started studying every religion you can imagine, books of every faith all over scattered around the house. And she must have taken a Intro to Judaism class with Rabbi John Stein at Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation, probably 1974 or 5. And my dad started going, and a year later, Rabbi Stein said, "It seems like you guys want to be a Jewish family." And they said, "Wait, we can do that?" And he said, "Of course, I'll help you." And now here we are. So that's the Jewish beginning. And maybe a year or two after we were a Jewish family, my mom sent me to a Jewish summer camp, one of our union camps, an important union camp in the Midwest, serving kids from Indiana and parts of Illinois, parts of Tennessee, Ohio, West Virginia, parts of Missouri, parts of Iowa. At any rate, this camp, Goldman Union Camp, is in a very important place. And it was for me. It's been every bit a Jewish parent to me as my own mom and dad. I had my bar mitzvah at camp. I met my wife at camp. I learned to play guitar and become a song leader there. I learned to become the dad I want to be by working at camp and becoming a counselor and caring for kids. So I'm really with you. If there's a reason you called me and said, "Dan, come Sing really high until you tell your story. I would say it's probably because of Jewish summer camp, and I think mom and dad would say that too. So they were big folk fans. They missed the whole hippie wave. They were too square, their words, for being hippies, and they were just but they loved folk music. And so if they weren't playing and singing around the kitchen table, the Limelighters, Kingston Trio, the Weavers, Peter, Paul, and Mary, they were playing those records in the house. And so I grew up with that sound of the music and also the sound of my parents singing it. So I fell in love with that. And then at camp, the way three meals a day, we were singing either Israeli folk songs or American folk songs. And that it connected with my spirit, my emotion. It seemed familiar, it seemed safe and exciting, actually. And there's nothing like a well-trained, passionate 19-year-old standing in the middle of a dining hall in anywhere in North America or the world for that matter saying, we're singing this. And if they know their stuff and they are willing to give everything, it's transformative. And that's why I'm with you. And in high school, I studied voice. I was fortunate to go to a performing arts public school here in Raleigh, North Carolina called Enloe High School, where our daughter now attends. And I was able to sing for 3 hours a day. I had a voice lesson with Joel Adams every day from freshman year through senior year. I had an hour of chamber choir and I had an hour of concert choir. So I was singing 3 hours a day from a freshman. So Joel Adams was shepherding my voice and helping me find my place so that I could sing up high and not hurt myself using coordinated falsetto. Any rate, he's responsible for me getting into the only institution for higher learning that I applied to, which was the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. It wasn't because of my grades that I got in there. It was because he knew some people, was able to pull some strings, and I was able to get in there and study voice with Stafford Wing. And I went on a 5-year program to get my degree, which was a smart thing for me to slow it down and take more time to get my degree and learn how to learn. And Stafford Wing was probably the most fierce, intense teacher I've ever had, and I carry his lessons of commitment and professionalism to this day. I think about him, and now here we are. Yeah, I studied classically. I'm classically trained. Studied German lieder and French chanson, American art song. Sang opera professionally for a little while, and I never got goosebumps from it. And when I learned in my mid-20s, I was going back to summer camp to help at Gucci with the song leading program, and I found myself in the dining hall singing with everything I had, surrounded by 300 people singing with everything they had. And I got goosebumps, and I burst into open weeping. I was deeply moved by that, and I realized I needed to follow my goosebumps, which is camp and camp music and communal music and singing together. And now here we are, and I'm 50, and now I'm singing songs with you, and it's very good. Man, woman, and Rochelle Nelson all are good.
Amen. All right. Okay, my boys. So give us a song.
This is one of my latest, and right now it's one of my favorites, especially with Juneteenth coming tomorrow. This is, I'm thinking, a bit of a folk song, a bit of a protest song, all wrapped in a warm, comfy cloth of optimism and hope. It's a song called "We Are From the Garden." We are from the garden. We are from the flood. We are from the angels singing, all you need is love. We are from the mountain and the hope blowing on the wind. We are from the Holy One within. We are from the wandering, we are from the dream, we are from the fight to understand what freedom means. We are from the promise and the hope for a better land. We are from the marching hand in hand. We are from the garden, we are from the flood, we are from the angels singing, all you need is love. We are from the mountain and the hope for a better land. We are from the marching hand in hand. And we are from the Holy One within.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Dan, do you write all your own lyrics?
Sometimes I sit down with some of my friends who I have deep relationships with, and I write lyrics with them. And like for example, Cantor and I have done a bunch of work together over the last few years writing, and it's been meaningful. And then every once in a while, actually rather regularly, in my prayer practice, when I'm praying and either losing my attention and wandering,
Yes.
or inspired by a moment, I'll find a text within my prayer moments, prayer practice, and see something and go, oh, there's music for that. Like, for example, the Abraham Isaac Cook poem that's in our Mishkan Tefillah, the Reform Movement's prayer book. There is one. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. And that's what I heard when I saw it, and I went, well, pay attention to that and sit down and write that. So
Beautiful.
very often inspiration comes beyond my own
From the
lyric, but
lyrics.
in prayer.
Yeah, I often hear music in words. That's how my mind often works. I don't usually write melody first. I actually see the words, and then I hear the song in the words. Kind of an interesting thing, but that's always worked for me.
I hear that loud and clear.
How?
Do you think that's because of the rhythm that exists within a lyric line, and you speak it out, and if you repeat that, inevitably there becomes a rhythm that emerges, that reveals itself from the spoken line, and then rhythm then can easily become
Right.
melody.
Right, absolutely. So, you know, Modima Nachnu Lach, which is an oldie I did.
Hmm.
Modima Nachnu Lach. I mean, I hear the music that goes with whether it's Hebrew or English. It drives me crazy sometimes because I want to stop the rabbis from speaking, and I so I say, wait, I got a melody for you, but but I agree with you. I really do believe that the words, especially if they're poetic, not the regular spoken everyday word, but poetry words, yes, and words that have been written spiritually in our prayer book, oftentimes sing. They just have a melody that's just waiting to come out.
Hmm.
So I have another question for you. You already have a very successful career. So what are your goals that you want to pursue in the future? Is there anything new that you're planning or thinking about or dreaming about?
Wow. I appreciate you asking me that question. Yes, I have a dream right now for July and August. And it's unencumbered by reality, it's unencumbered by expense or cost. Um, but this past Tuesday, would have been opening day of Goldman Union Camp for first session. And for the first time in 22 summers, I'm not this summer traveling all over North America from Memorial Day, where Havana Shira typically begins for me, to mid-August, traveling Jewish summer camps all over North America. This is the first time in 22 summers that I'm not just humping all over North America, getting it done in song leading and teaching and singing and praying and celebrating
Yes.
community. So I'm missing that, And my dream right now is to put my sorry butt, or not sorry butt, my butt in an RV and just take communal singing to people and travel the country for 2 months. I live in
Wow.
my own RV. I drive from town to town. I park in a congregational parking lot, and people bring lawn chairs and safe distance and wear their masks if it's appropriate. And I'll sing folk songs. I'm not interested. I don't want it to be a Dan Nichols concert. I want it to be a free people's concert.
How
Where
beautiful.
that's what I want to do. I complete. I don't. That's all. That's all. That's all I want
Right.
to do.
That's what you want to do. And
I want to sing "This
the
Land Is
rest,
Your Land." I want to sing "If I Had a Hammer." I want to sing "Dreamer." I want to sing "If
that's
Not Now,
right.
Tell Me When." I want to sing songs that build emotional muscle tone and project
Right.
out to the world an optimistic view of a world that could be better.
Amen. No man is an island. People get together now. All those great songs. Yeah, they really spoke. They spoke to the heart. And that would be something for you to be traveling around. Well, I don't know if that dream's going to come true or not for you, Dan, but the dream alone is already a beautiful journey. I hope you're able to bring it to fruition. Would you give us one more song?
I'd love to.
Thank you.
With all the tension, the stress, the upheaval, I would like to sing everybody a love song. Whatever you are, whatever I am, we are more than woman or man. Whatever you are, whatever I am, we are more than woman or man. I met a girl in Ohio. She told me she had rainbows in her eyes. Rainbows in our eyes, we'd see where love resides. Rainbows in our eyes, the color multiplies when love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love. There is a light shining through us. We are kaleidoscopes of hope. Helps us all to see what love can truly be. A gift to set us free, pure and holy. And I see you right beside me. There's never been another one like you. Do you see me right beside you? Holding on to this spinning arc of green and blue, where love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love. In the end and in the beginning, faithful love and light never dimming. In the end and in the beginning, faithful love and light never dimming. There is a blessing for seeing a rainbow. And it was inspired by this moment of Torah where Moses sees the rainbow after floating and coping with the rain for 40 days. And the blessing says, "Blessed are you, God, ruler of the universe, who remembers the promise, who's faithful to it, and keeps that promise." That promise that God sent out to all of humanity, that God will never destroy the world again, and that there's love for everyone, not just some, but all. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Zocher habrit v'neheman bivrito v'kayam b'mamaro. When love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love is love is love. Love is love is love is love is love. Whatever you are, whatever I am, we are more than woman or man.
So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Dan. Thank you so much for sharing your talents.
You're welcome.
You are absolutely wonderful. And you are as beautiful and kind a human being as you are a rich and talented musician. It's all, you got it all in you, and you bring it out in your music and in your soul. And I thank you for that every day of my life.
Thank you, Rochelle. When we're done, I'm going to call my mom and tell her you said that.
Yes, I will call her for you if you just leave me her number. I'll just say I was with your baby.
Oh, I got to stop laughing at my own jokes, Rochelle. It's not a good look.
No, you got to laugh at your own jokes because there's a time when no one else is going to laugh at them. So
That's true. My whole life.
You got to practice.
Yeah, right on.
Oh, that's what. Is there anything before we say goodbye to you for the moment? Is there anything that you would want people out there to know about your music or so forth, or how they would get your music, what you want them to know?
Oh, thank you. Well, if you're liking what you're hearing, you want to follow me, you can check out my website, dannicholsmusic.com. And I'd appreciate that. My whole my whole catalog's there. It's like 12 albums worth of stuff. And just put out a new album at the beginning of the spring called One Who Will Struggle, Music for Prayer. And 15 new songs. And I appreciate you guys taking time. You could be a lot of other places tonight, especially in Florida. You'd be hanging at the beach, getting a haircut, going bowling.
Well, actually, Florida is a strange place to be right now. First of all, we have these massive thunderstorms every afternoon because it's like you're in the Caribbean. And then on top of that, if you go to the beach, you have a high chance of getting the virus because Florida is now on the upswing. Because everyone went to the beach and now everybody's coughing and sneezing and in the hospitals. So I don't know. It's a weird time in America.
Super funky time.
Or should I say the entire world, which is actually something that I remember all the time, is that we have found something that unites us all, and even it's as an illness, but it unites the entire world. You can't just say it's over in that country because it's a dirty country or it's over in that country. No, it's everybody. It's everybody. All right. I love you, my friend. I thank you so much, and continue to write magnificent music and keep touching our souls.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now stay for a moment because we're going to bring on Josh, who you happen to know a little bit, and let the two of you say hi.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Josh. I happen to love you a little bit. No
I
offense.
happen to love you too, bud.
Oh.
This is a nice way to spend a Thursday evening, Rochelle. Thanks for bringing us together.
Oh, thank you. What an honor. And Dan, of course, you and Josh have been working together for years, making beautiful music. And you were actually down in Miami at Temple Beth not so long ago, doing a wonderful concert. So as soon as this virus quiets down, I hope to see the two of you on the road again, and I hope to see you back in Florida again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. So let's bring on Josh.
Hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Josh. You look very dark in this
You know,
picture.
it's weird. I got a new camera.
Oh, that's
And,
better.
well, yeah, but see, if I move close to it, it gets bright,
There
and
you.
then it decides that it's going to get dark in a minute.
Yeah,
Just
you look very. Yeah, you're going to have to stay close so we can see that beautiful punum.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sort of in Corona mode.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
sure you are.
I did finally get a little trim. I had a friend just come over and just because it was getting a little scary.
Yes.
It's a little
You
bit.
didn't get sick, did you?
I did. I was sick probably in March. I had a fever for about 3 weeks. But if that was the
Wow.
worst of it for me,
Wow. It's interesting. In February, I was sick for 10 days. I had flu symptoms, shivering, fever, and my doctor gave me some antibiotics, and I just 10 days later was fine. And I think I had the virus, but didn't know it.
It's a scary time for everybody, and I
It
think
is.
that I just wish that there was a little more caution in the air.
Oh,
I,
amen.
it just, I don't sometimes understand how people kind of don't see the long term in favor of the short term. And, no one wants to be cooped up. No one wants to be separated. And
No,
we
it's
got to
not.
take care of each other right now and be
That's
responsible.
right. It's not about just you and me. It's about the person we infect.
Absolutely.
I feel that way about cigarette smoke.
Yes,
When
absolutely.
some when I'm sitting at a table outside somewhere and someone lights up a cigarette or a cigar, and that's I can't enjoy my meal anymore. It's over for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we want to hear so much more about you. Josh, by the way, weren't you going to before the virus, you were thinking of going to Russia this summer?
Yeah, probably not this summer. I think now
Right.
next. But I'm really excited about it. For those of you who don't know, Rochelle and I come from the same family tree. We are distant cousins, probably not so distant. Anyone with our
Probably
last
not.
name who is Jewish, very likely descended from this general area in Belarus called Babrish.
That's right.
And
That's
so,
where my dad's family came from, Belarus.
yeah. So, my family's history sort of ended at Ellis Island as far as any of us knew. We had no information or history. And it always kind of made me feel disconnected and a little imposterish in my work because, my grandparents used to tell me stories and say, you're part of a rabbinic dynasty. I'd say, yeah. And then I sort of hit a dead end with all my online ancestral research. And someone who was searching for the same name saw the family tree that I was building and sent me a link to a ship manifest. And it was my grandparents coming over, and
Oh,
I found out the name of their ship. And once that happened, it was like the floodgates opened. And I've
wow.
traced our family back to the 1600s.
Hmm.
And I'm not 100% sure how you fit into that tree, but I'm sure you do. The woman who was my fourth or fifth great grandmother built this spectacular home in the middle of Barbariche, and it is now the town's library.
Mm,
And it's still there, and it's called the Katz-Nelson House. And what I
wow.
really want to do is go there and spend some time and learn some of, you know, the early Jewish music that sort of was born there, particularly the niggunim and the older melodies. And
Mm,
I want to take them back and incorporate them into the music that I'm making in my work now. And
how
really excited
wonderful.
about it.
That's going to be very exciting. That's a wonderful, wonderful journey.
Thank you.
Oh, before we go on, you got to sing something because everybody's waiting. I'm sure they're like,
Can I just say how nice it is to listen to Dan Nichols before I start? Because I'll
was
tell
that
you,
nice? It's so
it,
sweet.
it's nice to be able to be a fan of someone that's in your. I love him as a human being, and we're very
Yes,
good friends and very close. Just like as a musician, I enjoy what he does. It's such a high level, and it's
it
really,
is.
really nice to have something in your world that you can listen to and just enjoy and not.
Yes,
It's really special to me. So it's wonderful to be on here with him.
wonderful.
This is kind of a newish song. I just put out a video for this, which people seem to be enjoying, which is exciting. Um,
Good.
we filmed the video right before the pandemic really got busy.
So we can go on YouTube and see this.
Yeah, the song is called One and Only, and the video is essentially me hanging out in the streets of New York, having fun and dancing with people. And it's just surreal because it's that world doesn't exist right now. So it's very odd and almost, I don't know, it just doesn't
I know.
fit in a
Strange.
way. But it's also, I
Yeah.
find it to be kind of endearing and uplifting and as a reminder that, we will be together again. Maybe not in exactly the same way.
Yes,
but
we will.
This era, the Gamze Yavo, like this too will pass and we will move into what our next phase will be. So
Good.
there's a song called One and Only. So open up your heart to all the lost and lonely. Let no one be alone tonight before our one and only. Before our one and only. If your God is my God and my God is everything, aren't we all part of one God? Let your God be my God and our God be everything. Oh, we're all part of one God. So open up your heart to all the lost and lonely. Let no one be alone tonight for our one and only. For our one and only. If your heart is my heart and my heart is everything, aren't we all part of one heart? Let your heart be my heart and our heart be everything. Oh, we're all part of one heart. So open up your heart to all the lost and lonely. Let no one be alone tonight for our one and only. For our one and if your God is my love and my love is everything, aren't we all part of one love? Let your love be my love and our love be everything. Oh, we're all part of one love. So open up your heart to all the lost and lonely. Let no one be alone tonight for our one and only. For our one and only. For our one and only.
I love that. It's a wonderful piece.
Thank you.
Just you got such a beautiful sense of melody. So, want to go back a little bit. Tell me about your childhood,
Oh man.
musically speaking. I don't need to hear all your
It's kind of,
emotional issues.
that is a very long, complicated story.
Yeah, mine is too. We're Jewish.
Oh, believe me. Musically, my mom was a singer. my dad enjoyed music very much, exposed me to a lot of music that I didn't appreciate until I got older. He was really into 1950s vocal jazz, which, I couldn't stand when I was a kid. And
Right.
then I went on and the focus of my dissertation was 1950s vocal jazz. It's like it came totally full circle. I started writing songs when I was 4. I wasn't good at writing the lyrics, so I would open up my mom's like Joan Baez songbook and take
Mm.
out the lyrics and pretend that I had written them, and then write new melodies to those. Yes, it was a little shady. No one told me that wasn't the correct path for a little while. And my grandfather, who was a real Renaissance man, was first generation American, was an attorney and a Talmudic scholar and a concert pianist,
Mm.
and wrote essays about music, music theory, the science of music in his free time,
Mm.
just for fun.
Wow.
About temperament. Like I have this 20-page hand typed pamphlet he wrote about piano tuning and temperament. These were the things
Mm.
that interested him. So I feel like, music was kind of in my home. I played in a band with my brother for many years, my first Jewish band. And then in, mid 90s, I went to school for music in Boston. Also studied opera and was playing nightclubs at the same time to try to put myself through school. So I had this weird experience of singing classical music during the day and then singing Billy Joel and Bon Jovi at the top of my lungs at night. And those two things really cannot coexist successfully. And
No.
so after a few years of opera, I kind of got to sit down. And they said, listen, like your potential withstanding. And so, I kind of realized that, I think it's similar to the way that Dan said it. It just never gave me goosebumps. I love it to this day, and I listen to a lot of opera regularly to relax, actually. But I don't know. I think I've always been surrounded by music since I was a kid and knew it was what I wanted to do. Um, I have always been really interested in music gear. I don't know why I'm a little obsessed with it, but I used to read music gear catalogs when I was little. We were a very poor family. We were on welfare, and there wasn't a lot of stuff around. So I
Hmm.
remember like breaking guitar strings and then having to tie them in knots and put them back on. Like it was crazy. And so to have worked hard enough for a long period of time that I can play the instruments I want now, you know? And that is an amazing place to be when your whole kind of life was about like if I only had a guitar that I could intonate or a guitar that had all its strings or a keyboard with all the keys that worked. So you
Right.
learn to sort of make do with what you have, and now I'm sort of in this place where I don't know, I'm surrounded by tools that make me happy, and that's a really
Well,
neat
that's
place.
wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
That's wonderful. So, so you finished music school, and then how did you get involved in the camps and everything like Dan did? Is that what you did? You went to Jewish camps?
I did not go to Jewish camp as a kid. I worked for 2 summers as the song leader slash Rosh Yeshiva, I guess, at a Jewish day, like an independent Jewish overnight camp in New Hampshire called
Right.
Camp, which is a really cool camp, really fun and great energy, not connected to a movement, just on their own out there fighting the good fight.
Hmm.
And it was very, very, very important to me because I had no exposure to that world at all. I had heard of people like Debbie Friedman, but I had never really heard their music. And when I got this gig, I got a box in the mail and it's filled with cassette tapes. And they were, Debbie's greatest hits and Live at the Dell and Doug Cutler and Craig Taubman, and those were the
Hmm.
musicians at the time that were really, influencing the scene. So I suddenly discovered all this stuff, and I had no idea that it even really the
Existed.
Jewish music that I knew I thought came from Sinai, like the Klepper Shalom Rav.
Right. Of course.
Right, of course it came from Sinai.
Of
So
course.
I grew up in a very, very conservative synagogue with, a high classical cantor. And so that world of Jewish music, I just didn't seem like a reality to me. And part of the reason I really wanted to work in the field was because I wanted that experience for myself. Selfishly, I guess. I wanted a point of access with music that was aesthetically, in my playing field. And just in terms of what I would enjoy and what would move me in that kind of moment. And I think that um, we're lucky to be in an era now where balance in approach is valued. Like not any one thing will move a group of people, but different things for different people will enable a group to feel something and move forward. So I feel really lucky to be working at a time when, that's kind of the case.
That's wonderful. All right, my sweet friend, how about another beautiful Josh Nelson piece, or whatever you choose?
Well, I mean, you asked for this, so I should do this.
Well, you don't have to do this piece. It's just that it's very beloved.
Look, I appreciate it. It's a funny thing. You never know what you write that's going to resonate with people. You have no idea. And sometimes
Well,
the things that you think are like, oh my God, this piece, and people just look at you like, are you really?
Right. Like I said last week, I mean, everyone knows me as lie, 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 lie. And they know me as the Barahu girl.
Right. I learned that solely orally from hearing other people sing it. So I have
Really?
like 5 or 6 different chord arrangements and changes that go with
I'm
it.
sure.
And I never
And
know what
some of
people are
them
gonna
sing
pick.
like a dirge.
Well, everybody's got a different approach, right? But it's always
Yes.
fascinating to me to hear a composer play it because that's what that's.
Oh.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
All right. Let's hear a little Josh.
Yes, ma'am. We are gifts and we are blessings. We are His story in song. And we are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. And we are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Tor vador, nagi dor lecha. Tor vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ador vador, these lips will praise your name. And looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that roll by. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way. And the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. Dor vador, nagi dor lecha. Dor vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ador vador, these lips will praise your name.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I sing it very, very often. And the kids all sing it, and the choir sings it, and it's truly one of your signature pieces, even though you've written so much great stuff. So, Joshua, are you still there? Dan, are you still around? Can we bring Dan back on?
Po, po, po. Aki, aki, aki.
He nanny. what was it? I went to a I taught at a Staten Island camp, and they had every morning on the bus, they did, they called off everybody's names. I'll never forget the first time I heard it like this. Allison, here. Marcy, here.
I'm
I
here.
thought, what language is that? But that's the language of New York, Staten Island. Here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was great. Well, first of all, I want to thank the two of you. You are just wonderful inspirations in the world of Jewish music. You're a wonderful personal inspiration to me, and I know to anyone who knows you. And I bet there's a lot of people out there right now that wish they had the opportunity I have to sit in my living room and to chat with the two of you. I want to thank you both. I want you to stay healthy and strong. Keep us updated where you're singing. Congregation, Temple Beth Am, everybody out there that's listening, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, listen to Josh Nelson, listen to Dan Nichols, find out where they're journeying, and find your way to journey with them. May you take your RV and hit the ground.
The R&B RV. I'm very excited.
Exactly. And Josh, maybe you'll hang out. You'll go with him and you'll sit on the roof or something and sing along
That
with him.
sounds like great fun, Josh.
Doesn't that sound great? You on top of the roof of the RV?
A movie Vacation when the grandmother's on the roof?
Yep.
Right.
Like it.
All right. I love you both, and I wanted to thank you so much for joining me tonight.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Love you too.
Shalom.
Josh, that was
Peace.
cool. Key of B with C shapes, tuned down a half step. That was rad.
You are observant beyond belief.
I was playing along.
Unfortunately, you can't be in sync.
Yeah.
I know. That'll come next.
Love
All
you
right.
so much.
I love you. Be healthy, be strong.
Have a sweet Shabbos.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye.